Thank you so much, Mr. Grossi, for your time. Could you just start off by telling us how crucial it is for European countries to come up with a sort of joint funding method for nuclear energy in Europe?
It's one of the elements which are going to be needed. We have clearly a new international consensus on the need to have also nuclear energy as part of the tools against global warming and also for energy security. Very important, in particular in Europe and in Central and Eastern Europe. So when we look at more nuclear, we have to look at what is needed, what is lacking, and quite clearly, as you say, the issue of finance is one of the most salient ones. Some countries are less in need of that, but for many in Europe, it is still necessary to have elements that will facilitate adding more nuclear to their grid.
Germany, Europe's biggest economy, is on the path of shutting down all of its nuclear power plants. Is that a mistake from where you stand? And also, is it too late for the Germans to reverse that decision now?
Well, as head of an international organization of which Germany is an important partner, I would not characterize decisions taken freely by a democratically elected government as a mistake or as something positive. I would say it's a fact. We are dealing with that fact. Actually, Germany has been the only country that has proceeded with a complete phase out, and we respect that. Talking about too late or not, I think it will be for the German people to decide, but late, no, it's never too late.
I want to talk about the fuel needed for nuclear power plants. Are there sustainable sort of moves to replace Russia, which remains a crucial source of the supply?
Well, we know at the IAEA that there are countries in Western Europe, also in the United States, that are devoting specific efforts to try to reinforce and to develop the nuclear fuel part of the equation. So this is going to happen with some time. At the moment, we have a structure of the market which, yes, recognizes a special place, perhaps the majority of the market for the Russian supplier. We see this from the perspective of the IAEA as a technical matter. We think it's possible to have more suppliers which are not specifically of Russian origin.
Just to talk about Ukraine for the moment, the nuclear power plant in Zaporizhzhia, how confident are you that that situation will remain stable? And perhaps, what is your assessment of the danger and the risk there going forward?
Well, the risks are always there. We should never forget that this nuclear power plant is sitting at the front lines of the war. So this means that anything can happen any moment. That being said, we have set out, I did it so at the United Nations Security Council last year, a number of basic things, basic principles that should be observed to avoid the worst. So far, it has been working. Of course, there are moments, there have been blackouts, which are also a very dangerous development. There have been isolated episodes, drones, and some kinetic impacts which have not compromised the safety of the plant, but they are there. The important thing is the engagement. This is why I was talking to President Zelensky just a few weeks ago. I also went to Russia and met with President Vladimir Putin. I think it's important that they listen to the IAEA.
My final question, small modular reactors, so-called SMRs, these are crucial to the development of nuclear energy in Europe. Is the reality sort of meeting the expectations in this regard?
Well, SMRs are in development. We will see the first SMRs in Western Europe and in North America probably within the next 4 to 5 years. So I think, yes, it's a reality. We have to see, once we see which are the the types of SMRs, because there are many different in development at the moment. We will see whether these meet the needs of the market, but there is intense, I would say, interest, even demand and some anxiety in middle income and developing countries, for example, in Latin America, in Africa, in some parts of Asia, for these types of reactors, which are smaller, as the name says it, but also more affordable than the big typical nuclear reactors that we know.